One man got the last laugh with porch pirates in his neighborhood when they got a box they thought was a package.
In Washington state, some homeowners are fighting back. They're tired of people stealing their packages.
From quirky men who'll bring their entire family to scavenge your front yard, to people pretending to be pizza delivery guys, these porch robbers needed to run into some scary homeowners to set them straight. Let's watch and find out what goes down when porch robbers mess with the wrong homeowner. Box bomb. This cunning man walks up to the porch thinking it's a regular day and not suspecting a thing. Little does he know that the people inside this house not only know him, but are also sick of his entitled antics, so they've planted a little surprise for him. This man has spotted a package and quickly grabs it before anyone sees him. As soon as he attempts to walk away with it, the box bursts right in his face and he falls to the floor. As if the situation isn't embarrassing enough, the man has to blatantly check his pants to see if he has had an accident out of sheer surprise. There's one ingenious feature of the box that made it possible for all of it to be caught on tape. The fact that the box detonates upon being touched and not upon being opened. Everyone knows a real porch pirate waits to go home before opening their present. Porch Party. This man didn't just come to scout this porch all by himself. No sir, he brought his entire family and then some. Watch as he puts them all to work to see if they can find anything worth taking home. They think they're unstoppable. Until a voice blares out through the intercom, alerting them to the presence of the homeowners. He tells him the authorities are on the way, and the porch is cleared within seconds. Early morning theft. To anyone else, a mailbox would be nothing special. Just a regular object on the street that's easy to ignore, but not to this woman. Where we see a mailbox, she sees an opportunity. This is a chance she intends to make full use of. She turns her bike around and quickly begins rummaging through the contents of the mailbox to see if there's anything worth taking home. She thinks she's alone until the owner of the box yells out to let her know she's not about to get away with it.
Can I help you? Or just put that shit back? I'm sure you just were,
Obviously, the woman instantly feels embarrassed and puts whatever object she's procured to take home back in its original place. Then she tries to play it cool. In typical porch pirate fashion, she pretends she was never planning to steal it anyway, and quickly flees the scene on her bike. As she's going, she repeatedly yells that she wasn't stealing and lives in the same neighborhood. Obviously, the man doesn't believe her, and neither do we. Bicycle tricks. People on bikes really seem to think they're as invisible and unstoppable as people in fast cars with tinted windows. This man thought it would be okay to just do a quick little loop on his bike ride and quickly swoop up a couple of packages he has spotted. If you pay attention, it even looks like the bike he's on is stolen from a small child. He wheels himself into this driveway and drops his bike to hoist up the load. But he doesn't know what's coming next. Watch as he falls and fumbles trying to make his way out of there as quickly as humanly possible. Talk about embarrassing. Bad neighbor. Now let's watch as this man tries to deface an annoyed resident's cameras. Could it be so he can get away with some porch pinching here and there? This nightmare neighbor is caught trying to sabotage a man's doorbell camera after claiming it overlooks his home in a furious row. But a woman named Victoria, whose uncle owns the camera and has some severe learning difficulties, argued she needed the camera to make sure her poor relative was staying safe. Grove has tried to damage the bell at least 3 times in just 1 year, but to no avail. On another occasion, Grove was seen taking a hammer to another camera at the very same home. On yet another one, he makes a bizarre attempt to deface the camera lens with a marker pen, like some kind of teenage prankster. Watch as he signs himself up for an instant dose of karma by being such a public nuisance. I see you. In this video, we're not dealing with just any porch robber. We've got ourselves an experienced pair that seem to have a solid plan in place. Well, clearly not solid enough. One of them is on the lookout while the other guy plays both detective and handyman by making sure no one is home and then getting to work tinkering away on the front door to try and get them both inside. The homeowner is playing smart, waiting to make sure the crime is caught on camera, before not only alerting them that they have been caught, but also sounding the alarm to signal that the police are on their way.
Get away from the door.
These men clearly did not plan this far, and they drop their original plan and make a run for it. No getaway car in sight. If you're going to be a criminal, at least do it right. Swift return. This awkward little man really thought he was capable of picking up a package and walking away with it, but even the way he walks says he's completely unsure of himself. He does a flimsy job of checking if someone is home, spends way too long examining the package and his surroundings, and walks away just slowly enough for the people of the house to not only have been alerted, but also have made it to the intercom in order to confront him.
Hey, put that back.
At least this poor guy is nice enough about it and puts it right back, even apologizing as he leaves.
Oh, sorry.
Put it back.
Sure thing.
He makes it sound like all he did was bump into someone on the street by accident, not that he just attempted to rob someone of their valuable belongings. Come on, man, you have got to be tougher than that if you're going to make it on the streets. Hard to be bad. Apparently that wasn't the only case of a green porch pirate. This poor guy is also just as scared of the lady in the intercom as the last guy, dropping what he's stolen as quickly as he picks it up.
Put that down, sir. I see you.
He respectfully gets back in his car and then drives right off, probably beating himself up over how embarrassing that was the whole way home. Get out.
Did he hear you?
You ran.
Oh, no. Get out.
These women make such a ruckus about the men on their front porch trying to defile their valuable packages that the men run for their lives away from that home.
Hey, get away.
But videos like this really make you wonder how the people inside the house were too busy to bring a package into the house,
You kidding me?
and yet never busy enough to spot someone then trying to steal that package.
Just at my front door. Rings up. I rip it open my box.
Make it make sense. Nevertheless, the value of investing in a doorbell camera and two-way intercom really changes the game for women in danger. All they have to do is push a button, and they get away with putting criminals behind bars without ever risking a physical attack. Camera thieves. Now in this bizarre video, we don't have porch robbers stealing packages or anything all that valuable from the front door. In this case, there's a man and woman stealing the very surveillance camera that would catch their crime instead. Who's going to tell them that they can steal the camera but they can't exactly steal the incriminating footage it's capturing? Someone needs to immediately inform this duo that it's the 21st century and everything is stored on the cloud. Besides, what use could they possibly make out of a stolen Ring camera that's registered under someone else's name? Perhaps this is just a really pathetic pair of pranksters who never outgrew their childlike antics and now it's too late to stop. Not afraid. Now this man doesn't just hide behind his doorbell camera. When someone enters his porch without his permission, this man comes out to play. As this package thief tries to exit the scene of the crime with the goods in hand, he's happy that nothing has gone amiss. Mission successful, right? Wrong. Without issuing any warning through the intercom or sounding a security alarm, the person the package belongs to comes storming out through the front door and freaks the thief out. The nifty criminal is so caught off guard, he drops not only the package but also his getaway vehicle of choice, his bike. The clip ends there, but we can only imagine what that man did to the thief who tried to do him dirty. Secret ally. It's a rainy afternoon in a Bothell, Washington suburb. A delivery truck makes its rounds, dropping off everything from light bulbs to kitty litter. But he's not the only one with a routine. Seconds after the truck turns the corner, a car stops in front of a home. Cutting across the lawn, a porch pirate looks for a quick score. She finds 3 mystery boxes, but the wet grass has other plans. As she tries to escape, the slippery ground gives her an instant dose of karma. Her ankle twists in a way it shouldn't, and she's stuck in the mud. Her accomplice, who blends in like any other road worker, is forced to blow his cover to rescue her. It becomes clear he's been scouting the whole neighborhood, serving as the lookout. He rushes 13, not afraid. Prioritizing the stolen packages, he returns to grab the boxes. With everything and everyone crammed into the car, the thieves make their getaway. Hopefully, for their sake, one of the boxes contains an ice pack. You can't trust anyone these days. Even the seemingly innocent road worker might just be a lookout for a porch pirate. Pizza delivery. A crafty porch pirate devises an elaborate scheme to pilfer packages by disguising himself as a pizza delivery guy. One sunny afternoon, he walks up to a suburban home, pizza bag in hand. Glancing around to ensure no one is watching, he nonchalantly picks up a package and tucks it into his bag. To any onlooker, it appears he is simply retrieving a payment or confirming an order. His deception is flawless, leaving homeowners none the wiser until they check their doorbell cameras. As you watch him leave, you realize he was never even wearing a Domino's uniform. The sports jersey with Beckham written on the back just looks a lot like one. Looks like one of his boys made fun of his jersey for looking too much like a delivery uniform, and he turned into an entire business. No losses incurred. Doorstep drop-off. With porch piracy on the rise, the only way to ensure your package is safely delivered might be to have it handed to you by the driver. However, looks can be deceiving. The delivery driver assumes the woman who just pulled into the driveway lives at the address, but she's actually posing as the homeowner. Once the delivery van is out of sight, she makes off with the package. This scenario is becoming increasingly common. Porch pirates shadowing delivery trucks are a growing problem in neighborhoods across the country. These thieves follow the trucks, hanging back until a delivery is made, and then swooping in for the steal. Some even skip the porch altogether, intercepting the package before it can be delivered. Security experts suggest having packages sent to a neighbor's house or a work location if you can't be home during delivery times. This way, your package will find its way to you, rather than someone pretending to be you. In these times, you can't trust appearances. The person who seems like a neighbor might just be a porch pirate in disguise, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Don't mess with an engineer. Got a problem? Solve it and make a business out of it. This one man has had too long of a history dealing with disappearing packages given the strange placement of his home. He's absolutely fed up with people trying to steal his packages, so he comes up with a plan to exact his revenge. Here's a little backstory. These thefts had been going on for a long time, as we mentioned. The more effort and resources Jeremy Barrow invested in preventing package theft from his front porch, the more his frustration grew because nothing could stop these people. Despite his showing Tacoma police clear surveillance footage of thieves nonchalantly walking onto his property and stealing packages, the authorities were able to make a grand total of 0 arrests. The items they took from him included expensive things like Jeep parts and electronics, but the culprits always got away. Then, an explosive idea struck this 34-year-old man. He said, "I was brainstorming ways to scare them into dropping my package and never returning to my porch. I figured that the fear of being shot at would definitely make them reconsider." This thought led to the creation of the blank box. Barrow's concept was both straightforward and cunning, if such a term can be applied to thwarting would-be thieves. He devised a nondescript dummy box that, when lifted by an unsuspecting thief, triggers a 12-gauge shotgun blank to fire. The setup also included a video surveillance system to capture the startled reactions of the thieves, providing both evidence and a bit of schadenfreude. "It's very loud but technically harmless," Barrow assured. However, a police spokeswoman in Tacoma, where Barrow resides, mentioned that the device, as described, seemed illegal. Yet, there were no open cases against Barrow. "The first guy who triggered it was so terrified that he dropped his cell phone in my yard," Barrow recounted. I handed it over to the police. Turns out, he lived just a few blocks away from me. Despite the evidence, the man was once again not charged. Toolshed intruder.
He just ran.
A young boy sneaks into a quiet backyard, eyes locked on the toolshed. Glancing around nervously, he finds a crowbar lying nearby and grips it tightly. With a deep breath, he approaches the lock, heart pounding. Just as he begins to force it open, a voice booms through the doorbell speaker.
Hey, bud, the police are on the way.
The boy freezes, dropping the crowbar. Panic sets in, and his eyes widen. Abandoning his attempt, he bolts from the yard, sprinting down the street as fast as his legs can carry him. The homeowner watches, relieved that their quick thinking and technology thwarted the theft. The doorbell speaker falls silent, but the lesson lingers. Sometimes a few stern words are enough to scare off even the boldest would-be thief. Smallest thief ever. In a Topeka, Kansas neighborhood, 4-year-old Emmett was spotted on his neighbor's security camera during an afternoon drive. Something caught his eye, prompting him to circle back for a closer look. Emmett set aside his sippy cup, checked to ensure the coast was clear, and sprang into action. Despite the package being heavier than he expected, Emmett was determined to carry it off. He made his getaway, but just minutes later, returned. His mother's scolding convinced Emmett to place the box back on the porch where he found it. Both the neighbor and Emmett's family found the footage amusing. But what was in the package that gave Emmett so much trouble? The neighbor revealed it contained a set of 4-inch heavy-duty caster wheels, something Emmett wouldn't be interested in anyway. After all, he already has his own set of wheels.
Man versus Wild. Raccoons have earned quite the reputation as our #1 enemies when it comes to stealing food and other objects. These crafty critters are notorious for their mischievous behavior and uncanny ability to get into just about anything. In recent years, raccoons have also been spotted stealing package deliveries left unattended on porches, and here's one of them, caught red-handed in the middle of the act. But everyone knows raccoons are ferocious little creatures and they are not to be messed with. If they're taking your things, just let them. Their curiosity and dexterity make them capable of tearing into boxes and bags, often leaving a mess behind. What might start as an innocent sniff around a package can quickly turn into a full-scale raid, with raccoons tearing apart the packaging to get to whatever goodies are inside. This same dexterity makes it possible for them to scratch and claw at you and potentially really hurt you if you try to stop their crime. Mission Impossible. This man right here is finally getting to live out his Mission Impossible fantasy in trying to sneakily steal a little treat off of someone's porch. He's sliding across walls, being his own. Look out, and funnily enough, thinking that he's avoiding all the camera viewpoints with his stealthy movements. Looks like someone decided they needed a little spark in their life after retiring from the workforce, thought they could try to be a little bad for a change to try and find that spark. Look at him. This is clearly not a seasoned porch pirate, it's just an old man looking for a thrill. It's kind of endearing. We can't even be mad. Of course, the homeowners weren't all that pleased to find their precious items stolen. They're not going to find this man endearing at all when they catch a glimpse of these security tapes. If he wanted a thrill, maybe he could have gone to an amusement park. Public confrontation. This man thought he was being sneaky. He clearly failed physics in school because he thinks that just because he's wearing that massive raincoat that covers his face, he's become invisible to any onlookers. It's not a cloak of invisibility, dude. If anything, you look more suspicious and people are more prone to stop you. And that's exactly what this lady does, and she decides to confront him about his blatant package stealing. She was miraculously able to put a stop to the whole operation.
Please, call 911.
Hold on, I'm gonna get him on video.
Thank you.
Here's how the woman herself narrated the incident. My mother and I were having breakfast when we noticed an SUV parked in front of our house. After 10 minutes, 2 guys got out and headed to separate homes when we saw one appearing to steal a package off the porch across the street. My first reaction, maybe because I'm an actor, was to video the incident, get them on camera. Mom flew out our front door and started screaming at them.
I don't think so! Hey! Hey, stop! Don't put that back! Right now!
She caused the guy to pause, and then, with continued scolding, he actually turned around, walked all the way back, and put it right back on the porch. He didn't just take off, throw it, or flip her off. Our neighbors were all so thankful. Also, if I ever heard a crazy lady screaming at me like that, I would put the package back too. Well, that's one way to stop your packages being stolen. Maybe you should write it down for the next time some kids decide it's your turn to have your goods disappear.
What would you do if a porch pirate ever tried to rob you? Would you call the cops or take matters into your own hands?